How many times have you heard me tell you, let the fish tell you what they want best? Then you'll be able to capitalize on it and catch the most fish. Right? Right. No question about it. And I mean, the guys did a great job up there of experimentation, of checking out different techniques and so forth. But I would throw out a suggestion. You've seen one section there where he put a slow death rig on. I would have started when they had 3 guys, and I would have had them start with 3 different kinds of things. If it would have been me there, one person would have been slow death, one person would have been a big blade spinner, and one maybe a small blade spinner of a different size. But let the fish tell you, and you get that only, you'll get the answers from the fish only if you experiment enough. I mean, maybe you're catching fish on this, but maybe you could be catching twice as many by if you did this and this and this to it. So be willing to experiment, be willing to try things always, even if you're on the fish, because you can always find better things. The best time for them to really tell you stuff is when they're on the bite, and that's when you want to capitalize. So I always start out that way. If there's 2 of us in the boat and we're jig fishing, we will not have the same colors on, period. And we'll start and be different until we find, you're taking this whole bag of possibilities and narrowing it down to, here's the best thing I can be doing today when I'm out here. And then you'll catch more fish. It's a mindset, it's a process, and you can do it. Anybody can do it. When Evinrude Walleye Tournament Pro Eric Olson, BWP staffer Ty Shadeen, and Bob Ramberg arrived at Arneson's Rocky Point Resort and began rigging up with bottom bouncers and crawler harness spinner rigs, they were greeted with early afternoon sunny skies, stable weather, and a perfect walleye chop.
It's days like this where it's beautiful, sunny, warm, makes you happy to be in Minnesota.
For those of you who are unfamiliar, Lake of the Woods is a massive body of water bordering northern Minnesota, Ontario, and Manitoba. It and Arneson's is a major Midwest hotspot for walleyes throughout the year, and last August these boys couldn't wait to get out. By out, I mean 8 miles out to a huge deep water mudflat where they hope to find walleyes stacked up like cordwood. So let's go see if they did.
I am glad it's not rough today, because going out there, it can make you pay the price.
Yeah. You don't get many days like this out here.
And we got fish.
So we got fish.
There we go. That is what we're looking for right there. Fish on the bottom is what we're going for. Bouncers, spinners, crawlers, and
about 1 mile an hour.
just enough to make that thing turn.
Let's get started.
Make it happen. One thing I want to show you guys on these spinners is you take the crawler. What you're going to do is you're going to go 3 rings down and go right straight across the nose so that it hangs straight. It doesn't do this kind of thing. It pulls straight and lets the spinner do the spinning. I'm holding the rod. I can just drop it back and touch it, and I'm bringing it forward and it's right there. So I'm just a little off the bottom. And a lot of times too, what happens is when you drop that rod tip back, it stalls the bait, it stalls the spinner will flutter, and if they're following it, they can hit it. Anytime you come to a new body of water, it's always a challenge.
Got them?
Yep.
Size or no size?
No, just a little one, but it's always fun to dissect it and really try to dial in.
There we go. Spinner.
What the patterns are going to be.
Look how fat that thing is though.
They got bug hatch going on,
Yeah.
that's for sure. What the fish are going to be doing. That's a little better fish. Everything changes, and you have to really adapt with that, whether it's the colors of spinners, whether it's the approach. What I changed to was this. It's called slow death rig. Simple rig. You thread the crawler up onto the hook. Now what happens is you can see it's kind of curved. By having the curve on it, it makes the crawler roll. I sat back and did some research prior to getting up here.
There we go.
Nice.
Another one.
Found out that we probably were going to have a bouncer or crankbite, and first day out here, turns out we did have a bouncer bite. Excellent.
So they're getting bigger, I'll say that.
But we had to really dial it in.
That's a beauty. If we get a bunch like that, you guys will be smiling.
Now the boys were fishing mud out here. And I mean, when I grew up fishing, nobody ever fished mud for walleyes. The word was walleyes like rocks. The fact is, walleyes don't like or dislike anything. They use stuff depending upon how it gathers food at the time. Does that make sense? I hope it does. So they'll try all kinds of things. It's not something that they like human beings. You like Dairy Queen, okay, well, they're not like that. They're on a survival mode at all times, and that's what they're thinking. How can we do best? If this food source runs out, let's go find another major food source.
Oh, I got one here.
Okay, now back to Lake of the Woods, where Ty Shadeen finally sets into a walleye with a lot more muscle.
Kind of looks like you hooked the bottom.
I think I need the net for this one. Look at that. There she goes.
Yeah, these mud flats, these big fish like this just roam and wander and talk about an opportunity to get a fish of a lifetime.
Oh my gosh, there she is.
That's looking like it right there.
Oh, get it in there.
Oh yeah.
Nice.
Bam.
Woo! Look
I'll
at
hold the net, you get her out.
Of her.
Dude,
What do you think?
that
Is that a
rock.
30?
You think it's got any food going on in the belly on that?
I think they're eating
Beautiful
plenty of forage in this lake. I love Lake of the Woods.
It's a beautiful thing.
Lake of the Woods is an incredible body of water. You can fish rocks, reefs, mud, which we fished. We fished mud pretty much the whole time because that's where the fish were just absolutely stacked up there.
Oh boy.
Oh, on the board.
Yeah,
Big?
on the board. Yeah. Oh yeah. In the summer, the fish head out to the mud. There's a lot of things that go on in the mud. There's bait out there. There's mayflies. There's a lot of hatches that go on. And in this case, they're in an expansive, monstrous mud flat.
Oh, yeah.
Location, location, location.
There was a lot of fish on that flat, but they weren't all active fish. It is incredible how many fish are down there. So you got to remember that you may be seeing a lot of arcs on your electronics, but you still got to find the fish that are biting. Ooh. Oh!
When you hook up with active fish, it's best to turn around on those active fish, and you can get a couple more fish off that same pod or roaming pod of fish that's looking for bait.
Oh, there he is.
That'll
Not
work.
bad. It's a good one.
That works. Nice job, man.
So we'd come along, we'd find fish, boom, like a few minutes would go by, and we'd actually go above where we were catching those fish and then make that drift again.
Because we're moving slow, we don't want that spinner to drop into the mud. You want to keep everything up above the mud. We're blowing up the crawler, gives it a little bit of size, but the big thing is it gives it some lift, even though the spinner's on the front and we're going slow. When you put it in the water, you'll see here, it keeps that whole setup slightly higher and up off the bottom.
Got one?
Yeah, you could say that. You look at that rod.
Need a net? Maybe?
How about no way around it? Oh man, is this awesome.
Look at the head pump.
That's just nice head shake. Look at that.
Staying down.
Just staying.
It's a good sign.
Bulldogging me. Lake of the Woods at its finest right here. Man.
Oh, look at that.
Oh, take her!
Oh,
Take her!
oh.
Yes, baby, that is the deal, Neil. Look at that. Woo! Actually, I'm gonna have to use the pliers. You know, one of the fun things about this is it's simple tackle. It's not complicated. A bouncer and a spinner, and you can get fish like that. What a beautiful fish.
That's a Lake of the Woods walleye.
Prime walleye, beautiful fish.
That is a dandy. It's a nice thing about what Lake of the Woods.
Oh, she's ready to go too.
You can catch trophy walleyes, you can catch eaters all day. You just don't know what's at the end of your line.
She's getting ready.
There she goes. Nice.
That's what I'm
Nice.
talking about. That is just awesome. Whew. It never gets old.
Here's one other problem guys have. They think that walleyes eat minnows, and they do a lot of times. But that's certainly not the only thing that they eat. I've caught walleyes with jigs when I'd seen them coming out of the water and eating mayflies as they were hatching, right on the surface. I've caught them with fly rods, way up high. There's so many things that you can do that the walleyes are doing that fishermen are not checking it out. And those are the kinds of things where you'll find out new things and you'll expand your horizons. So the more patterns you know, the more things that you can learn each time that you're fishing, they go into your memory bank. And the next time you come out, boy, you've got a whole arsenal of things you can try. So you start trying them as fast as you can, as quick as you can, as effective as you can. And if they're not there, then you shouldn't be there. Now, don't worry if it's rocks or mud or a transition line between the two. You just keep looking, keep working at it. That way with an open mind and varying and changing, and you'll get them.